So yes, we are talking about this little beauty I bought off eBay for just £15 delivered. So, why should you care about Pulsar? Hey, well, Pulsar are cool. Well, they used to be. That's because in 1972, Pulsar were owned by Hamilton and they made the P1. It's a pioneer of digital watches, an electronic watch which had red LED, and it cost over $2,000, and that was over 50 years ago, so that's a lot of money. But then in 1979, Seiko bought them, and they've owned them ever since, and they've kind of just let them languish in the sort of really affordable, slightly crap territory. But if you want one that's not quite so crap, get yourself one from about 25, 30 years ago, if not older, and you're in for a treat. So 15 quid, something good for the collection maybe, something you can have as a beta, something that's got some pedigree. So when you say pedigree, or history, what is that? Well, if you go back and look for James Bond Live and Let Die 1970s film with Roger Moore, you'll see that he wore the Pulsar P2, which is the stainless steel version. So yes, Pulsar is a Bond watch. Not this one, of course, but it's from the same brand. So anyway, yes, I know Pulsar's not exactly the epitome of James Bond watches. You know, we know Omega and partly Rolex are in that category, and even Seiko. This is a very tenuous link, but it's enough for me to say I've bought a 15 quid watch and it's got some cool brand history. So yeah, you can get cool watches for 15 quid, great for the collection. They have some kind of tenuous links. Someone says, that's a cool watch, what's that? You say, well, it's kind of a Bond watch, well, but not really. But anyway, should we have a closer look at this little beauty? But truth be told, it's bloody cool because it's such a lovely classic size. It's the old 38mm case size, really thin, less than 10mm, 20mm bandwidth, so you can easily change it out if you don't want to use this standard folded link bracelet, which is actually very serviceable, better than a lot of the newer Seikos I've seen and Casios that I've used. This crazy kind of cool, very cheap folded link bracelet stylee. Very reliable quartz movement in here, and it's ticking away nicely, hits the markers pretty good, and it's got lume in the hands and on the indices. But the thing that makes this little beauty pop is the blue dial. It's actually blue, it's also teal, it's also a flat blue. It's one of the usual things that something from the Seiko group does so well, and it's just so cool at letting the light play with the dial, and they're good at doing the polished indices, pretty good lume, and then you've got the lovely applied Pulsar logo, which I just think adds a little bit of class. Makes it look more expensive than it is, because even new, this wouldn't have been expensive 20 or 30 years ago when it was available. But what makes this cheap or reminiscent of that time is it's a plated case, stainless steel with solid case back and bracelet, but the actual case is probably something like brass, and it has been plated, but it's quite a thick plating because it's got a nice, good, smooth brushing and polishing to there. The brushing's a bit coarse on the bezel, but for a watch which I just bought as a used thing, it was in really good nick. I tidied the bracelet up a bit. But then the other thing you could do, which is super cool, is change the straps out. Have a look at these few options I've had to go indoors. So you could put it on a nice rubber. Tried it on this blue one, absolute beauty. Do it on a NATO, just something with a bit of blue and a bit of splash of colour in there, just to change it up a bit. Then you want to class it up a bit, I went for this tan leather. I think tan goes really well with a blue dial. You can really play about with it. And if you want to bling it up a bit and don't want to have the standard bracelet, but still like bracelets, Milanese mesh I got for like a couple of quid off AliExpress. So as you're seeing right there, this is something you can get for not much money. And with the little strap collection you might have indoors, you can mix it up a bit and you can play around with different choices and make it really fun. This is a great fun hobby, isn't it? What is also blooming cool about this watch, it's got essence of 90s about it, late 90s, early 2000s. And why do I say that? Because it makes me feel like it looks a little bit like one of those old Tag Heuer 2000s from the early 2000s. Same case size, same slim case thickness. The proportions are all very similar. 100 meters water resist sports watch. Doesn't rotate this bezel. It's got mineral crystal. It's a cheap watch, but it's even cheaper when you get it old but in good nick. And it's something you can just go, you know what? It's a beta, which doesn't feel like a piece of junk. And as I stand beside this bin in my garden, I am proud to say I'm really glad I found this watch just to share with you guys, just to get you to open your mind a bit to watch collecting. I've done a few watch reviews in the last few in a row just to highlight that you can get watches and they really don't have to cost much money. And that's the thing about this hobby. I know it can be very expensive. Trust me, I've been there. I'm still there. But it's fun when you just want to keep going with the collection and still have something with a bit of story. That's where hunting around on eBay and looking for something which is deemed vintage, scary to say something 20 to 30 years old is vintage nowadays. If you've got a kind of style you like and you just keep scouring the internet, just type older Seiko, older Pulsar, older anything on eBay and you're bound to find something. And things I can advise you on being wary of is just don't rush and buy the first thing you find. Just take your time looking, because there's more out there than you realise. Have a closer look. See, I saw 2 or 3 of these, and there was one that was like nearly £30, and it had like a Velcro strap, didn't have the original bracelet, was scruffier, and I was like, oh God, I think that looks quite cool. Looks like the kind of thing I wore when I was a kid at school. So I just kept looking. I thought, I like that one. Went down the rabbit hole, almost like Alice in Wonderland. That's how my brain works. And I found this, and I'm glad I did, because it needed just a little bit of tidying up. It works perfectly. The guy sent it and it literally fitted me perfectly, and I was lucky I didn't have to try and find spare links for this bad boy, because I didn't need to in the end, because I literally got it out the box that the guy sent it in, put it on my wrist, and I'm kid you not, it fit me absolutely perfectly. So sometimes it's just, you get these little gems and it works out. And yeah, it's got cheapo push clasp, and it's got the old rolled folded link bracelet and hollow end links and a plated case and mineral crystal, and it's literally like the worst spec you've ever seen. But you know what it's got? Something from AliExpress has got all those spec things ticked. This has got charm. This has got character, and that makes it cool. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more of my content, more different watches, real variety. Look forward to seeing the next one. Bye for now.